Good morning, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny. Thought I'd make a video as I wake up to another day in spiritual Babylon. Yeah, it is, according to my clock, it is 10 after 10 a.m. in October the 7th, 2025. It is gray outside. It rained during the night, and it's probably 58 degrees outside. And that's a Tuesday. I didn't do a Monday reads because I wasn't in the mood. Now this morning I'm making a video. My wife is gone. She went to do an encouragement visit to a lady who is in a, I know what you call it, oh, someplace in Grand Haven. Encouragement visit, another lady goes with her and they go in to encourage a member of her church who no longer attends due to various physical limitations, mental limitations. So I'm sitting here this morning and I didn't know what to get into this morning. I mean, I'm kind of out of it. I got up at 5:45. Some weird dream woke me up and I kept I just couldn't get back to sleep, so I got up, messed with my old laptop, and looked at the scores for last night's football game between the Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Jaguars beat the Chiefs 28-30, something like that. And then I read that book, A Handful of Dust by Eveyln. I'm basically, I read it last night. I finished it, and I've been thinking about it. That Eveyln. I should go get it. Hold on, wait. I'm back in a minute. Yeah, this is Eveyln Waugh, A Handful of Dust, and you can see by my my bookmarker that I'm basically, I finished it. I just, sometimes when I get into a novel, I speed read, and then after I listened to a review of the book by John David on BookTube, and I watched a YouTube video of a summary of this book, and then I went to bed. And then this morning when I got up super early, I read some more. And basically, I was thinking about this novel and what it is. It was published in 1934, and Eveyln Waugh as you can tell, he was a prolific writer. And I have a whole shelf of his novels, and I have a biography and letters. And since I never read him, I thought, well, I might as well read him. And so I read this novel, and I wasn't really super impressed by the writing, but the more I think about it after reading it, how would you describe this novel? It says here, as I mentioned, it says in the back, fiction laced with cynicism and truth, a handful of dust, satires a certain stratum of English life, where all the characters have money but lack practically every other credential. I read this back of it, this novel, in a previous video. But what I would say, and the more I think about it, and it's absurdity. It's a novel of absurdity. When the more I think about it. So that's why everything is kind of absurd. So anyway, so I woke up thinking about this. I also read last night The Life of Paul Gauguin, Wild Things. I'm almost finished with this. You can tell by my bookmarker that I'm almost... There's a lot of footnotes towards the end. So I basically have maybe 40 pages left in this. So I woke up thinking about these novels, well, especially not the novels, the novel, Handful of Dust. This is what I read last night. But what I've been primarily reading is a book I got in the mail last week, A Remarkable Collection of Angels, A History of the Sixth Gallery Reading by David S. Wells. And if you want to know more about the Sixth Gallery Reading, go to my Crooked Fingers Live Journal blog where I go into it. And so David S. Wells, he puts out, he's a beat scholar in the Jack Kerouac, Gary Snyder, William Burroughs, Allen Ginsberg. The Sixth Gallery Reading was a reading in the late 50s in San Francisco where not Kerouac, but Ginsberg read for the first time HOWL. This is the first. This is a CD that came out, and it's the first. It says Allen Ginsberg at Reed College, which is in Oregon, first recorded reading of his famous poem HOWL. There's an early picture of Ginsberg. So I've been reading this every year. As if you watch my videos over the years, I have sometime during the year I get into something of Jack Kerouac or Ginsberg, William Burroughs, the Beat generation, Beat literature, etc. Because primarily I am into Jack Kerouac. As I mentioned, the primary influences in my spiritual life, my intellectual life, my writing life, my diary life, my existence in this American wasteland is Jack Kerouac. And so this morning, I didn't know what to get into this morning. I said, I'm not really in the mood to read. I have been reading in the mornings this week, In Your Light, In Your Light. In Your Light, We See Light, Reformed Theology of a Divine Illumination by Paul C. Eveyln, U-Y-E-N, is Chinese. So I've been reading this. I read it yesterday. But this morning I thought, hey, why not listen to Mexico City Blues, which was mentioned in this book. Allen Ginsberg, it's by Jack Kerouac. Wait a minute here. See, it's called Mexico City Blues, 242 choruses by Jack Kerouac. It says here in the back, Jack Kerouac, who died in 1969 at the age of 47. He had a hemorrhage from alcohol. He died in his bathroom, bled to death. Is renowned as the father of the Beat generation, which he would not want to be described as the father of the Beat generation. That's something I would question. His 18 internationally acclaimed books, On the Road, Dr. Sachs, The Subterraneans, Lonesome Traveler, were important signposts in new American literature. Well, how many people out there who are watching this video have read On the Road, have read Dr. Sachs, have read The Lonesome Traveler. I mean, I don't know anybody. Ginsberg called him the new Buddha of American prose, creating a spontaneous prosody original classic literature. In Library Journal said, he is a genuine, he is alive, he is native. His poetry is as distinctive as his prose. See, some people don't realize that Kerouac wrote poetry. He also was a painter. I have a big table book of his paintings, and he wrote poetry, haikus. He wrote a biography on Buddha. But this is his Mexico City Blues, 242 choruses by Jack Kerouac. And his poetry is as distinctive as his prose. It roams widely across continents and cultures in a restless search for meaning and expression, giving his verse the unique qualities found in America's most distinctive contribution to music. So I got this out, but I also have in my beat collection is Jack Kerouac reading Mexico City Blues, 242 choruses, read by Allen Ginsberg. And so that's what I was listening to.
Aid that sorely tongued gave grace and aid.
See?
Because I can't write a sonnet, does that make me Shakespeare? There's a sonnet of the lotus, a rubicund rose. Death in a rose is prouder than satin, emerald, isles blessed in the archipelagoan shore. Fairies arrived. 21st chorus. Not very musical, the Western ear.
So that's Jack Kerouac reading chorus 20. Now, one reason why I like listening to Allen Ginsberg, Ginsberg always made it very, he said, when you read poetry, read clearly and distinctively. And that's one thing I like listening to Ginsberg read, is he's very articulate, which I am not, as you know. So when I read Mexico City Blues, 242 choruses by Jack Kerouac, I like to listen to Ginsberg because he pronunciates perfectly. And one thing else, Ginsberg in his writing and poetry, well, he was a poet, but he has a distinctive, he reads like Kerouac. He was influenced by Kerouac. So that's why I got out to listen to Ginsberg read Mexico City Blues, 242 choruses. That's what I'm listening to this morning as I wake up to the flames of Rome burning to the ground. I got this in the mail last year, Allen Ginsberg, HOWL. Maybe I got it this year. It says here on the back here, 2021, Allen Ginsberg. So I also have, and I thought I'd listen to this morning, was, well, I have other recordings. This is by Graham Parker, reading selections from the Visions of Cody, which is one of my favorite Jack Kerouac books, Visions. This is one of my favorites, which is more of a prose, poetry, collage, experimental writing. It's one of my favorites, Visions of Cody. A lot of people know about On the Road. This is a paperback edition, On the Road, the original scroll by Jack Kerouac. There's a picture of him typing. There's a photocopy of the original page from the scroll, On the Road. And this is a Peguin classic deluxe edition, original scroll, a legendary first draft, rougher, wilder, and racier than the 1957 edition. It's decal edge. It's not racy, you know. I've read On the Road and the original scroll, and that much has been abridged from the original On the Road that was published. But this is from the original scroll. So anyway, and then you have the Dharma Bums. This is a deluxe Peguin edition. Reason why I like this edition, it has an introduction by Ann Douglas. See at the bottom, really great introduction to the Dharma Bums, which is one of my favorite, besides On the Road. Dharma Bums is my favorite Jack Kerouac novels. And in the Dharma Bums is where because when the sixth gallery reading where Ginsberg first read one of the early compositions of HOWL, he was in the audience there, and he describes it, and here in Dharma Bums he says, if I can find it here, it's not that far much into the novel. Kerouac novels tend to be somewhat autobiographical. So, and his characters are taken from his friends like Ginsberg, Gary Snyder, and I don't know if I can find it here. I should have looked before I got it out. But you can read about the sixth gallery reading of the Dharma Bums. So that's why I thought I'd get out, is to listen to Ginsberg read Mexico City Blues. And I might listen to some parts of Vision of Cody read by Graham. Now this is not, these two cassettes do not contain the whole text of the Visions of Cody. It's just selections, which is kind of disappointing. I bought this years ago. See, Visions of Cody. There's an early picture of Kerouac. Jack Kerouac's most radical experiment in language, Visions of Cody, and storytelling in Visions of Cody as an enormous pendant to that secular influential figure Neal Cassady. The fusion of radical improvisation. Yeah, when Visions of Cody was taken back in the day when Neal Cassady and Jack Kerouac, they were friends. You all know that Neal Cassady is one of the major characters in On the Road. They tape recorded themselves, and if you look at the Visions of Cody, you have transcripts from those tape recordings. They experimented with tape recorder, and Jack Kerouac what's the word? He subscribed, where he wrote down their conversations. See, Frisco, the tape. See, tape recordings. He transcribed what you'd have Jack, and then you have Cody, which is Neal Cassady, and he transcribed those dialogues, which are improvisations, which are very interesting. He also recorded Eveyln, which was I think a girlfriend, or at that time maybe Kerouac was married to an Eveyln, I don't remember. But then you have just long kind of streams of consciousness. But this is my favorite Visions of Cody by Jack Kerouac. So you have selections read by Graham Parker in here. So I thought I'd listen to that maybe this morning or today, because I'm in a beat mood, because I've been reading kind of intensely remarkable collections of angels, a history of the Six Gallery reading. Yet last night I was reading his really great chapter on the writing of HOWL, the poem by Ginsberg, which I told you I have one of the first readings of HOWL, the poem HOWL. So I also have On the Road read on CD, read by, this is unabridged by Tom Parker. I also have On the Road being read by Matt Dillon, a very famous actor, On the Road, unabridged on compact disc. So I have 2 readings of On the Road by Kerouac. I also have Tom Parker, Jack Kerouac reading the Dharma Bums. So what I do sometimes over the years, I'll sit down and I'll listen to, they're really great to listen to Tom Parker read the Dharma Bums, and I read it, I have the Dharma Bums text in front of me. So you can have, these are both available. So I'll sit down sometimes and listen to Tom Parker read On the Road. I have them both together. So that's why I got them out. I might do that sometime before the end of the year. I also have Allen Ginsberg reading his poems, Wichita Vertex Sutra. So I'm kind of like, since I've been reading this last week and this week, I'm kind of like in a beat mood. So I got these things out, since, you know, why change channels? Why go different directions? So I've been listening to Mexico City Blues, 242 Choruses by Jack Kerouac, listening to Allen Ginsberg read them. So that's what I'm doing here this morning on a Tuesday. It's kind of cold, gray, kind of dismal. Writing in my paper diary. I'm on page 819 for the year 2025, listening to Ginsberg.
No liars in the pines compare with the palms. Western sorcery is sad science. Mechanics go mad in nirvanas of hair and black oil and rags of dust and lint of flint.
So yeah, he's reading from chorus 21, which, how's it go? Not very musical, the Western ear, no liars in the pines compared with the Psalms, Western sorcery and sad science, mechanics go mad, nirvanas of hair, the black oil, the rags of dust, the lint of flint, hard iron fools raging in the gloom. I like that. Hard iron fools raging in the gloom. But here's east, Cambodian saloons of air, clouds of bless, blaking in our angel town, grove of beardly trees, bearded and emptily, expressing patriarchal authority to us listeners of the Holy See, said, saved by Balakicus. See, I can't pronounce like Allen Ginsberg. That's why I like listening to him. So that's what I'm doing here. on a Tuesday in Southwest Michigan, sitting here inside the hermit hut, listening to Ginsberg read poetry by Kerouac. I might read On the Road by Jack Kerouac, listening to that. Listening to selections from Visions of Cody by Jack Kerouac. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this new book. Just came out. I got it last week. Remarkable Collection of Angels. History of the Sixth Gallery reading is where the first reading of HOWL took place. I think Ginsberg was like in his early 20s. Just came to San Francisco. He's from the, New York City, the East Coast. But I really enjoyed the chapter on HOWL. And then he goes into the reading of the Sixth Gallery there in San Francisco. So I'm really enjoying this. And so that's what I'm doing this morning here in my cell. Hope you're having a good reading week. Hope you had a good reading weekend. And yeah, not much else going on. I got books coming in the mail, not in the mail, from Amazon today. So I'm kind of out of it. You can tell the way I'm making this video. I'm spontaneous prose. That's what I'm into. Jack Kerouac. Just let it all hang out. Yeah, check out Jack Kerouac readings by Tom Parker. He also does a good reading of the Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. Read the Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. Check out Mexico City Blues, 242 choruses by Jack Kerouac. Check out Remarkable Collection of Angels, A History of the Sixth Gallery reading. Check out Visions of Cody by Jack Kerouac. I really enjoyed reading the biography on Peguin Wild Thing. Yeah, check out what else here? HOWL, Allen Ginsberg. First, Reed College. Reed College is where Gary Snyder went, and another beat poet, can't remember his name right now, but that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be beat. I am beat. Beatific, seeking the visions of God. Angel-headed hipster. Anyway, I'm going to start rambling. It is 10:37 in the morning here, October the 7th. And yeah, I'm just keep going. So I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments. May the Lord bless. Until next time, bye.